Hi, welcome back. I'm Heather. Today I'm going to go over some of my tips and tricks to make holiday baking a little bit simpler. Each year I make cookies to give away to our family, friends, and neighbors. And in order to do this, we probably end up with, I think it's about 12 cookie platters. And then we also have cookies for the day of Christmas and Christmas Eve parties. So we end up with tons of cookies, and I'm able to make about 500 cookies in an afternoon by using some of these tips and tricks. So this is over about 20 years of experience. I started this when I was a teenager and have continued every year since then. First off, I like to make my dough ahead of time. I typically try to make my baking day on a Friday, usually about a week or so, a few days before Christmas. Fridays typically are a little bit slower for us, so it just makes it easier for me. So leading up to that Friday, I will pre-make doughs, and I will do 2 doughs each day. So I'll start on Tuesday, make 2 doughs, and once I make the cookie dough, so I have some here. I have a sugar cookie dough that I've already made up. What I do is I use parchment paper, and I will just roll the dough into a log, and this makes it so I'm able to just cut my cookie dough instead of having to roll out the balls. It takes a ton of time to roll out the balls, but I can quickly slice up this dough because it'll have sat in the refrigerator for a couple days. And so I just place some into some parchment, and then I just use my hands and kind of push it out, and I'll roll it up. It gets a nice even size. And then I will just do this for all the dough here in my bowl. And then I like to just throw it into a 2-gallon bag, and I just reuse these every year because they don't ever have any cookie dough actually touching them, so they don't get dirty. All right, my next tip with the parchment paper is that I use it whenever I'm baking the cookies. I love the air bake pans. They give the cookies a nice golden brown on the bottom. They never overcook. And so I use parchment on my cookie sheet for every time I'm doing it. Not only does this make it so my cookie sheet never gets dirty, I don't have to wash it after each batch of cookies that have cooked in the oven, but I can pre-prep and just line out a bunch of my cookie dough. And while one set is baking in the oven, all I have to do is prep, and I will get the dough onto these. As soon as the ones that are in the oven come out, I can easily just take and slip them off and then put on my new cookie dough. All right, my next tip is to use, my oven has 3 racks, so it also has a convection mode. So I always use the convection mode, and I will put 3 cookie sheets in at a time. My oven makes it with the convection that they all cooked very evenly, and I can get 3 sheets of cookies in one go around. And I also try to stick with recipes that use the same temperature. That way it makes it really easy, so I can just keep going between the different types of cookies, and I don't have to adjust my oven temperature. So I have cookies currently baking in the oven, and while those are baking, I've prepped my parchment paper with the cookies that are already ready to go. Next tip is that I like to have 6 pans of the air bake pans. That means that while the ones in the oven are good to go and baking, I can easily slide on these ones, and then those ones, when they're done, I'll slide the cookies off of them, and they're clean, ready to go, and they can cool down while the other ones are in the oven. And then right before that batch is finished, I will put them on the next round that's ready to go into the oven. My next tip is that as soon as those cookies are coming out of the oven, I like to put them directly onto our granite countertops. It means that they cool pretty quickly. And then as soon as they are cooled enough, I will put them directly onto the cookie plates that they're going onto. That way I'm not having to box everything up and then later divide them up. So I save a step just by putting them directly onto the platters that they're going to go on. And by the end of the afternoon of baking off, I have the platters ready to go and we can send them out on their way. I hope these tips are helpful to make your holiday baking go a little bit quicker and smoother. I'm able to get done at least 500 cookies, make fudge, and my husband typically requests Rice Krispie treats. So I'm able to get all of that done in an afternoon, about 4 to 5 hours. And I love doing this. It's a holiday tradition that we've kept, and now I get to do with our kids, and they have a great time doing all the cookies and then getting to hand them out to everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.